Unladylike Opinions. This is Life After Lockup, Season 3, Episode 59. Bitter baby mamas and vacations. I literally hate that baby mama word, but anyway. Couple by couple as usual. Puppy and Amber. So Amber says she been calling Puppy all night or whatever about the Warren situation. So she goes over to Puppy house because Puppy basically been ghosting her, not answering her calls. So she goes to her house, looks around, knocks on the door and all that. Puppy is in there. So she said, she get that Puppy is scared, but she wants her to figure things out before she just up and run like she planned on to. So Amber's sitting on the porch and she started trying to call Puppy, and then Puppy just pulls up and I'm like, this is so staged. So Puppy like, why is she stalking me? Like, you can't tell me nothing about, turning myself in. I already know all this or whatever. So she said, I'm engaged. My mom's health is failing. I can't go to jail right now. So she doesn't want to go turn herself in. She said she doesn't want to go, and then they keep her, and then, Eric is gone. So basically, she put it off on her mom, but it's basically like she don't want Eric to leave her or whatever, because he said he doesn't want her to run. And Amber, like, she don't know why he wants her to run. He should be helping her to get her to go turn herself in. And she was like, what's your probation officer number? I call or whatever. And she calls, was it the probation officer or was it the chief number? I don't know. She called somewhere and they didn't answer the phone. She got a voicemail. So she tells Puppy to text her. So she texts her probation officer to see how long she would be there if she comes to turn herself in. But she tells Amber that Eric is stressing her out. And before she could tell us why he's stressing her out, the probation officer texts her and tells her, she talked to the chief and they think is the best idea is to resolve this is for her to turn herself in. And she was like, oh my God. Amber's like, you need a drink? And she goes get her a drink. So she tells Puppy she should have got ahead of this when it first happened in the beginning and it wouldn't have been this bad. And, Puppy agrees with her and says, Eric not going to go for this. And she was like, but go ahead and take me now so I can go and get it over with, because if I wait till he come, I'm not gonna do it. So they get in the car and to go turn her in, and Puppy still holding on to the drink that Amber made her. So Amber asks her about Eric, and she says, and I'm like, why did you ask her about Eric? Why you just couldn't be silent on the way to go turn her in? Like, now you got her wheels turning, because she's talking about she loves him. She think the reason he don't want her to turn herself in is because he start feeling some type of way, and they engaged and all that. And then she started talking about the things with her mom. Like, one time her mom spent 6 months in the hospital alone by herself with nobody help, because Puppy was in jail at the time, whatever. And she was like, she feared not being here for her mom when her mom health is ailing or whatever. And I'm like, you're not here for her now. You staying at your boyfriend's house and she going through chemo by herself. So stop making this up, Puppy. Stop playing with me. So she was like, I can't do this. I can't do this. As soon as they almost pulling up to the jet, she was like, I can't do this. I can't do this. I'm taking the cameras down. I want my mic off or whatever. And she tells Amber, like, I need to drive. And she was like, what? And she was like, you're not driving properly, so I need to drive. Amber's like, I'm not finna switch seats with you in front of a red light. Like, wait till I park or whatever. So they park and they switch seats, and I'm like, you was just seen drinking on camera and you gonna switch seats. Like, girl, go ahead. So you see the producers asking, like, where do they go? And she like, I'm finna ditch these MFers right here or whatever. And you hear Amber saying, like, where are you taking me? And she was like, you gonna see. And that's the end of them. So Sean and Sarah, mama is still not feeling Sean, because she made a little smart comment while he was playing with, the granddaughter. Looked like they were having a little picnic at the park or something. And she said, something about him. I can't remember what it was, but just seeing him, how the little girl is laughing and playing with him, just, it just bothers me, because I'm like, you got 6 kids, and just to see how good you are with somebody else's child and you not there for your own, like, that just bothers them to me. So she asked her mom to go talk with her, and they go talk. And Sarah says she haven't been feeling well. She tells her mother that she knows she gonna feel some type of way, but she is pregnant and she hasn't told John yet. And the disappointment in her mama face is like, oh my god. So I'm like, damn, Sean fertile as hell for him to have this. Makes 7 kids. God, dog. Then Sarah gonna have the nerve to say she don't want to be another one of Sean's bitter baby mamas. I'm like, why they always gotta be bitter? Like, am I correct when I say he had 6 kids with one woman? So obviously, I mean, he got 6 kids with one woman and he didn't marry her, like, what, whoop-de-doo, whatever. But he over in a whole nother state with you and your daughter. She got every right to feel some type of way. She over there raised 6 kids by damn self. So miss me. But and if you didn't want to be another bitter baby mom, you should have kept the condom on. Point blank, period. So her mama gonna ask her if she was ready, and I'm like, lady, you raised the first daughter. Obviously she wasn't ready. You had that daughter since that girl was 6 months old, and she what, 5 now? 5 or 6. And mama in her confessional is pissed. And she was like, you know, I think she more pissed that she is pregnant by John than her actually being just pregnant or whatever. But she tells her, you know, I'm happy to be a grandma again, but she really ain't happy. So mama like, you just got out and haven't, you know, gotten to explore your own life yet. So like, why or whatever. So Sarah said she wanted to focus. She wanted her focus to be on giving her daughter her full time, all her time or whatever, because she wasn't there in her life or whatever. But things didn't go as planned. You think, because you should have went to the clinic and got a plan B, you ask me. I'm just saying. So Sean over there talking about he ready to propose to Sarah, and he hoped the mama not over there bad mouthing him. So Sean comes over with the daughter, and Sarah asks Sean to take a walk with her. And they go take their walk and they go off. That was the end of their part. So Christiana John waiting for his sister to arrive, and he says he haven't talked to his sister since she was 8 years old. And that was the last time he saw her. He said that their father was running a meth lab out of the house, and it got raided, and they took 2 of the kids. DHS took. So she gets out the car and she runs straight to him and hug him, and he gets to meet his niece and nephew. He goes to introduce her to Christiana. He asks for the details of her life. He was like, I want all the details, don't leave nothing out. And she basically tells him that her dad got her hooked on meth because he basically put the pipe in her hand and gave her the pipe and showed her how to roll a bowl. Whatever that mean with meth, I don't know nothing about. I know the basic drugs. I don't know that hard stuff. I mean, I don't do none, but you know, I know. Moving on. So, and John said their dad been in and out of jail for manufacturing drugs and was on the FBI's most wanted list at one upon a time. So she said she lost her daughter twice because of her addiction. So she was tired of losing her daughter. So she got herself together and went to rehab, and she been clean for a while. And John was like, you know, Christiana been sober for 20 months, and it scares him that she might relapse because of all the things she got going on with, you know, not seeing her sister and her mother's health. So then they talk about the naming ceremony, and because she called him down to do a naming ceremony with her kids. So he is giving the children native names, and he said they are private to them, and he whispered the names in the children's ear, and he said it's great to be around his sister, but he has guilt that he has his sister there and Christiana doesn't have hers, and that's because he told Christiana, I mean her sister, don't you come around here. So Christiana says herself that it makes her miss her sister, and she wished they could have the same connection or whatever. It's like, I was like, yeah, y'all could have if y'all wouldn't have done tit for tat. Like, granted, you did your sister wrong first by sleeping with her baby daddy, but then her sister go turn around and try to sleep with her husband, and I'm like, both of y'all wrong, but you know, pot me kettle. So then we see John with a camera, like, I guess it's not the producer camera, it's his own personal camera. He recorded himself, and he said, he went to work, came home, and Christiana wasn't there. Like, she always tell him, like, her daily schedule. She always tell him when she finna go to bed and all that, whatever. So he hadn't heard from her, and then he sees a wine glass, and he was like, she not supposed to be drinking on parole or whatever, and he threw the wine glass or whatever. So then the producers roll up, and they ask, where Christiana was. And he said he didn't know. He been calling her, and she hasn't answered the phone, but he does have the door camera. And I'm like, why you didn't watch the door cam? So he sees her in the door cam, and he was like, you see her with her bag and her purse. And he was like, I don't know who picked her up. I got some ideas, but I don't know solely who picked her up. Then they asked why she would be leaving now. And he like, maybe the stress with her mom and worried about, being around her sister Tara, and he started packing all her stuff up, like she got to go. And I'm like, she already gone. So he said she has a routine, and he can tell when things aren't right, and she hasn't been the same ever since his sister came to see him. And he doesn't know why she didn't just come. If she was having a problem or struggling with the fact of all this, why she just didn't come to him and talk to him about it or whatever. So John's elder comes over, and he tells him that, I'm moving her stuff out, and he was like, I think she over there with her sister. So the elder said, he is concerned, and he hasn't seen John this pissed in a while. So John is like extra pissed over there talking his noise, and his elder tells him, you are married through the pipe. Something with the native thing that they going around, married with the pipe or whatever. I don't understand. But, that ain't my religion. It was like, you can't just give up without the facts. So he has him to sit down, and he has like this little ritual thing with a little smoke coming out of the thing. I can't remember the name of it right off or whatever. And it's for him to clear his mind, to think clearly. He tells him, he's scared because he told his sister not to come to he told Christiana's sister Tara not to come to the wedding. And, you feeling guilty for not telling Christiana. So going forward, you need to not throw your marriage away, but be honest with everything or whatever. And that was the end of them. So Shane, Lacey, and John. Lacey in her car talking about the fight between her and Shane, and she says that he pisses her off because he doesn't know how to react. And I'm like, girl, whatever. She feels like she is his mom rather than his wife. And I'm like, go ahead. Like, you're right. You could be, because you went and got you a young man thinking he was going to do everything you wanted him to do or whatever. You right. You is acting like his mama. And so then this heifer said she feels stupid believing that Shane was going to get out of prison, being that young, and take care of her and her kids. You was real stupid. So the producers asked her to tell them about the fight she had with Shane, and she basically tell us nothing and say she doesn't want to talk about it. And I'm like, because like it was both of y'all. Shane just was the one with the record and got arrested or whatever. Like, you kicked that off. Like, no, don't get me wrong. If he touched her, he shouldn't have did that. But you tell me you effing somebody else, then So she said her kids are staying with her dad, and I'm like, so they can avoid the drama. And I'm like, girl, your kids are always with your dad. Ain't nothing changed because of the drama, whatever. So then they asked about John, and she said, she needs to get to the bottom of why their relationship the way it is, because they keep going back to each other. Then they show us a flashback of her out kissing John on social media the exact next day after Shane went to jail. After you done told him that you was back screwing John. Make it make sense, Lacey. So she decided to hook up with John because she just felt like it's always something between them. And she said she feels ashamed because they don't know why they keep hooking up with each other. And she wonders what her life would look like if she had married John and never met Shane. Cracked out and doped up and whatever. So John says Lacey called him to meet at the beach. And he said he got stuff going right in his life right now. And Lacey is always bad. She's basically evil. She's basically the devil. She always get him into something. Like, I got arrested because of her. Yeah. But you keep messing with her. So, he don't know why he keeps in touch with Lacey. And he was like, she put me through so much, so I don't understand why I keep like going back talking to her or whatever. So I guess they finna go meet up or whatever, and that was the end of them. So then we get to Brittany and Ray. So they packing for their birthday trip or whatever, and she talking about she packed a special occasion dress and asked if he brought a suit. Like, girl, can you make it look even any more obvious that you want him to propose? So she said her dream is to come back engaged and pregnant. And then this fool whip out some type of sperm stuff she whip out that says it's gonna make Ray's soldiers march. And then she was like, well, I'm gonna go to the bathroom and see if I'm ovulating. And she comes back and say, yeah, I'm ovulating, so we're gonna have sex all weekend. I'm like, Brittany is tiring. So Ray is excited about being able to travel because he hasn't been anywhere in a long time. So they land and meet up with the rest of their crew or whatever. And they ask Brittany, like, what we about to do. And she was like, y'all go ahead. We finna go make a baby real quick. And I'm like, damn. So they get to the room, and Wyatt had 2 beds. I do not know. So he tells her he has a surprise for her tonight, and she asks, what time the surprise is. And I'm like, what the freak? What you need to know what time it is gonna be for? It's tonight, girl. Get ready. So Ray and the guys go out and have them a little fun, and Ray pops him some Henny, baby, and he tells us in his confessional that he used to party. He used to go out every weekend back in the day, and wake up and he'd have spent like $2,000 to $3,000 in one night and don't know what he'd have spent it on. So one boy said by the time they get through with the shots, hopefully the women will be done. And Ray gonna say, I know Brittany over there acting like she Beyonce right now. Ray, don't do Beyonce like that. Don't even do Beyonce like that. And then they flash over to her, and she over there talking about, you can't sit with me or whatever, like she's so top notch or whatever, girl, bye. So she talking about in her confessional, she gonna say it's Beyonce and Ray D, and I'm like, so she raises a toast and tells Ray that this may be a night she won't remember, but never will forget. And I'm like, which one is it, girl? So everyone arrives to, Brittany's room or whatever, and they start popping their little bottles or whatever and to celebrate her, and they making speeches and stuff. And they ask Ray, is he ready for this? And Ray, is he ready for the night? He ready to turn up with them or whatever. And Ray like, I does this, baby. It just, I ain't did it in a while because I've been locked down. Ray said he nervous because he know how he can get, and he don't want to get in trouble in another state. Why you should stay at home. But, so all the guys leave, and Brittany tells them that Ray got a surprise for her, and she thinks it's gonna be him proposing. And they said, already, it hasn't been that long. Like, don't you think it's too soon? And they don't sit right with Brittany, but her sister is like, it's not enough time. Like, you can't put time on love or whatever, but y'all really don't know each other. Like, you just got him out of jail or whatever. Like, you really don't know him, like talking about, and you want him to propose. But Brittany said, she not ready to be no common law married, never getting married for 15 years, getting pregnant. And her sister was like, girl, calm down. And in her confessional, she says, her friends can shut the hell up, and she don't need their input because she knows Ray is gonna propose to her tonight. And I'm like, baby. So Brittany comes out in her red dress, and Ray hollers some God damn. And I'm like, Ray, calm down. That dress wasn't even that cute. That little simple little red dress or whatever. Like, don't get me wrong. I ain't trying to hate on her. I can critique her because, baby, when I step out, I step out. So, yeah. So they get turned or whatever. They partying, tan that. They took down their Hennessy bottle quick. So then Ray gets up and takes Brittany's hand and makes his little speech and said he wanted to show his appreciation to her. And that was the end of them. That goes off. And next week it looks like he gonna piss her off with the promise ring. I'm assuming he gonna give her, which I told y'all, which they told him wasn't a bad idea. He should have asked somebody else. But, that was the end of Life After Lockup. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will get back to you guys later. Goodbye.